Home. I made it home. Not completely, actually. I got home yesterday in time to dump the RV, go pick my daughter up from school, spend a nice family evening, telling her stories. Not all the stories, some stories. Still got to bring the rig home this weekend to unload the bikes, get my bike back to my buddy that I, hauled for him. Still a lot to be done, but I'm home from Sturgis. I'm not dead. And I thought we'd talk about some of the rally rules, my own rules that I broke this year, that I will try my best to remember to not break again. So what are rally rules, first off? Rally rules are what I call my own personal rules. Things that I try not to break when I go to any rally, because I've been going for a very long time. So a little bit of history. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe. It's one of the only channels where I'm not going to ask you for money. Just watch the videos, right? We don't have the Patreons and stuff. It's too much work. So we just do videos for fun. So hit the subscribe if you haven't already. The thumbs up, all that wonderfulness. And I have a question, ask in the comments. I read them. I do now that I'm home. So first off, apologize to everybody who, I don't really read comments and messages and all that kind of stuff when I'm at the rally because it's expensive. I paid a lot of money to be there. So I don't sit and geek out. That and internet's a bit sketch up there. If you're in a campground, I have cellular internet. I can't upload full resolution videos and stuff like I can in this. Anyway, been going to rallies. Even younger. My first Sturgis was 1990, when my age started with teen. So I've experienced a lot of mistakes over the years. So I have my own sort of commandments that I try to follow when I'm at a motorcycle rally. Some of them are things like, and I'll just go through the ones I broke this year. Wear sunscreen. I did, but I didn't wear it enough. I didn't make sure every day, and I was just roasted by the end of the week. Not burned, just felt cooked. Like, you could just cut into me and have a little piece, I did not wear sunscreen adequately. Even though I was lucky and we didn't hit rain all week, I did not have my gear with me. Normally if you carry your rain gear, it won't rain. And if you don't have it, it does. I did not have my rain gear most of the week with me, and it still didn't rain. So that's a freaking miracle. But I just don't feel like I was prepared. There was too many like channel related things I had to do. So I had to have tools in my bike and all this other stuff. And I just wasn't prepared this week, and I was lucky. I was very lucky that things didn't go bad. There were one or two nights where I broke my rule about managing how much fun juice you intake because of the next morning. And I was okay, but I could have done better. What I mean by that is if you have an appearance thing the next morning, or that sounds stupid. If you've said you'll be somewhere at 8 a.m. the next morning, that means you got to be up at 6:30 to roll by 7 because you don't know what traffic's going to be. And I maybe hit it a little too hard the night before, so you were hurting in the morning. One of my rules is don't do that. Like, make sure you're in bed at a reasonable hour and behave yourself if there's someplace you have to be in the morning. And I didn't do that, right? I should have done a better job there. The next one is a biggie. I didn't wear my helmet. I know, it was bad. It's too much fun to not wear one up there, and so I didn't most of the time. I often don't when I'm riding like needles, and that's not a good thing. It's not like I'm justifying it, because if you have a problem on needles, I'm not worried about my cell phone needles. I've ridden it so many times, I'm not worried about running off the road. But there are a lot of idiots up there, and if someone cuts a turn too tight, can't hold their line, and they hit you, well, you're going to want a goddamn helmet on, and I didn't do that. But I didn't wear a helmet, and that's not smart. I should have worn it. I'm not saying you should. That's your thing. You don't want to wear it, you do your thing. I'm just saying I should have worn it, and the damn thing was in my tour pack the whole time, and I didn't wear it. So I should have done better about that. And the last one, you got to not sweat the silly stuff. And I did a bad job at that. This may not be the last one, but it's the one I'm thinking of right now. And I'll give you an example. We were rolling 90, which is the main drag there. We were rolling 90, not 90 mile an hour, Highway 90, back to Sturgis from Rapid one day. And there's a certain protocol etiquette thing that says that outside of California and certain places that you can split lanes, you never occupy the same lane as another rider that you do not know. Right? So what I'm saying is each lane has 2 tracks, right? It's a lane is big enough for 2 motorcycles. If you got a close friend, a club brother, or whatever that you know really well, on occasion you might ride motorman. Motorman's when you're 2 bikes in a lane next to each other, or doubled up, or axle to axle. There's a couple things they call it. But 2 bikes next to each other in the same lane. You might do that. If you're riding in a staggered formation, and someone has to drop out, or someone has to go block, or something happens where a bike leaves, and now your staggered formation is missing a bike, the column might scissor to close that gap, right? So you might do a little bit of this action within the lane. Not like regularly, I'm saying just one time to close a gap. You never change tracks. So I'm going off on a tangent here. You never change tracks. You always maintain the same track. This is safety. This is basics. And some people say, how do you know? I fucking know, all right? It's a long time. Ask Robert Simmons if you don't believe me, whatever. But you never change tracks. You maintain track. And then you scissor your columns to keep things straight and copacetic. Those things are only done with riders you know and trust, that you've known a long time, that are your brothers, your sisters, your whatever, or your best buddy that you've been riding with for decades, so you know how each other's going to ride and how you're going to behave. That's fine. On both Daytona and at Sturgis, a dumbass decided he was going to pass me in my lane. And I'll get to my point here in a second. I'm in a left track. Captain rides his bike once a year. Decides that traffic's not flowing fast enough for him. Not me. I mean, there was cars and bikes everywhere. It was kind of bunched up. So he decides to pass me in my lane. I'm left track. He takes the right track and goes past. Now, judging from his super white Affliction t-shirt, gleamingly clean headband, and a sparkling clean motorcycle, there weren't a lot of miles on Captain Dumbass. But that's what he did. He rides a yellow street glide. If you wear a white t-shirt, wear a red bandana, and ride a bright yellow street glide, and you were passing people in your lanes, you're an asshole, and you need to change your behavior. Anyway, he did that, and it sent me into a rage. I didn't do anything. I gave him the finger, but I didn't chase him. I didn't do anything stupid like that, because I'm trying to be more of an adult in my grown age. But it still ruined my evening. I was so mad. I was just so mad that I'm like, well, this guy could hurt somebody. What if? Now, did he do anything to me other than make me mad? No. But what about all these other people? What about all these other people on the road that aren't used to that? And a bike buzzing them within their track, or not within their track, I'm sorry, but within their lane could spook them and send them into a freaking death wobble. Or send them off into the grass. Or cause them to crash. Now, some of you out there are saying, well, we split lanes in California all the time, or that's just normal. Not in South Dakota. Right? And not in Florida. So, just because that's the way you ride in Cali doesn't mean that's the way you're going to ride at Sturgis. So, sharing someone's lane is a huge protocol no-no. It's extremely rude. If I don't know you, that's extremely rude for you to come into my lane because you decide that your douchebagger is more important and needs to go faster. So that it sent me into a rage, and it shouldn't have. You got to let things go. You cannot get that mad because you just don't know what's going to happen. But the point is, I still will say, if you don't know this, that what he did was extremely wrong. He should not have done that. And you can cause someone else to have an accident if they're not ready for that or used to that. What if someone would have swerved left and ran off the road because of this asshole? Anyway, don't do that. But I need to manage my inner goblin and make sure that I don't overreact to things, right? So that's an issue that I need to be better at. I need to not let that stuff bother me. I let it bother me way too much in Daytona when an old stupid, this old dumbass in his freaking white New Balance Velcro tennis shoes did the same thing, and it just sent me into a rage. And that was, you gotta be better. I gotta be better for me and for the family and all that. So I spent entirely too much time on that. And the last thing is you need to build some downtime. This is the last thing. I had to stop for a minute and think about that. I'm like, there's something else. The wife and I were just talking about this. Once again, we did not build downtime in. We were there. How long were we there? I got there on Friday, and I left on Saturday. So I was there for 8 days, and or 9 days, whatever. I planned on leaving on Sunday, but then realized that on the way up, that 800-mile days going home alone. Let's make it 4 600-mile days. Let's do that. Anyway, so I left a day early. I left on Saturday. You got to build downtime in. And what I mean by what we define as downtime is, for years we've said we want some time to sit outside the rig in our folding chairs under our awning and just smoke a cigar and drink a beer. Like 2 hours of just the two of us, just hanging out and just taking it in. Listening to the sounds of rumbling pipes around you all the time, which you can't get away from, but just enjoy it for a minute. And the sounds of the Buffalo Chip of someone warming up for that night's performance. Because the Buffalo Chip stage is just right down there from our campsite, so I could hear, the stage all night. I heard every performance from my campsite. And I was South 40. Someone's going to ask that. I was in the South 40. We didn't do that. Every day we were like rushing to get back to the rig, to rush to get in. To the funny thing is, she'd even brought outfits, like she was going to change into her evening outfit for it's a mocha, no, and didn't do none of that. Like it was just go, like and again we didn't do it. We did not sit and stop and smell the roses for a bit, or the cigar, and sip a bourbon and listen to people and watch our neighbors, and they all did that. I saw our neighbors spend a lot of time sitting in their campsite, yelling to each other and laughing, and we just didn't. We would get in and then quickly, whatever, and run down to the amphitheater, and then we'd run over here. It was just like, we got to do that. So I'll do a video on like overall reflections on the rally, things we liked, things we didn't like. There's a pretty long list. The wife and I have put that together, and we might even do that together because her perspective's important, and she will remember things I don't. She's a lot smarter than I am. So anyway, we'll do that. But these are just a couple things that I did wrong this year. I broke my own commandments in a couple cases, and I need to not do that. I need to be better. You may have noticed I'm already back into work mode. So I have calls, and I'm back to my real job today. Got home last night, back to the real job today, and I had to shave off a couple pounds of beard and straighten up, clean up, and groom a bit because I got to look right on my frickin' never-ending Zoom calls, as I'm sure some of you have. People talk shit, that's fine. I never let no job tell me. I got a good gig, man. I will sell out a little bit for me to have a nice house and be able to buy some shit. Like, give me some room. Like, if you had my gig, you'd probably trim your beard a little bit if they want you to. I'm just saying, But anyway, we'll get together and we'll talk about overall reflections on Sturgis. We are going to be making some pretty serious changes to how we do Sturgis in the future. All good stuff. We figured out a couple things that we've been doing wrong that we need to do better. Right now, I want to say I love to death everyone we got to spend time with. So many people who watch the channel. Got to spend some quality time with Lady Timberwolf. Love her to death. Bill and Chris and Drew and Chris's wife Mel, and Drew's wife was there too for a little bit. And I can't remember. God damn it. I'm a terrible human being. But that's like new family, right? Like, so excited, all the new friends that we have. And looking forward to seeing them all at future events. We're already planning. We really, really, really think we're going to be at the Smokeout in North Carolina. That's the plan. We just didn't realize how close it was after getting home from Sturgis, but we're going to figure that out. But yeah, there'll be future videos overall on what we should have done differently and what we are going to do differently in the future. But I'm home. Love you all to death. Hope you enjoyed the videos. I will read every comment on this video. So if you made a comment a few weeks ago or days ago, the noise is starting. I'm home now, so a squadron of B-52s is going to go over the house in a minute. If there's a question or a comment you made that I didn't answer because I was gone, make it again here, and I'll respond. I will read every single comment on this video. So love you all to death. Take care of each other out there. We'll talk real soon. Bye.